Hey, this is Dan from howtomakepodcastlikeapro.com. Today, I quickly wanted to talk with you about podcast directories. What is a podcast directory? Well, a podcast directory is a website or a place that you can go and browse through a whole bunch of different podcasts. Then you find a couple that you like and you might want to subscribe to those. Now, at the moment, there's a handful of podcast directories out there. The first type of podcast directory that you might want to go and take a look at are the ones that you'll find through Google or Bing, and they might be podcast directories like Podcast Alley or something like that. Now, as much as these are good, I find that they don't store anywhere near as many podcasts as somewhere like iTunes does. And the other thing is, these podcast directories that you're finding through a search engine just aren't getting the traffic that somewhere like iTunes does. So this whole video today basically is me kind of saying, if you're really serious about finding good podcasts, or if you're really serious about being found with your podcast, forget the other podcast directories. Not worth your time. The number one place that you need to go, the number one podcasting directory, is without a doubt iTunes. So here we are in iTunes. Now, to find the podcasts within iTunes, you need to go to the iTunes store. And this is what it'll kind of look like. It'll probably be a little bit different for you because it's region specific, but generally they advertise new movies, new music, singles and EPs, there's charts over here, stuff like that. The place that we want to go to browse some podcasts is up the top here, and click on podcasts. What this then does is it opens up the whole podcasting directory within iTunes. Now, the first place that I look for some cool new podcasts is right here under the new and noteworthy section. There's a whole bunch of podcasts here which the staff at Apple have gone through. They've personally listened to these podcasts and they've deemed them appropriate to give them a platform in front of a bigger audience. So this is always a really good place to start because generally the quality of these podcasts are great. As you can see, there's only sort of 2 rows there, but if you click on See All, that's going to bring up a whole new page. And you've got some podcasting charts over here to the right. So that's obviously telling you what's popular and what's not so popular. And then it categorizes it, basically. You've got some funny British folk who are doing podcasts there. And then you might have particular television stations or radio networks, and their personalities or talent would all have podcasts. Or what you can do if you want to be really specific about the type of podcast that you're looking for is to go up to the search store bar. And this is where you type in a keyword that has something to do with the topic that you want to hear a podcast on. So say, for example, if I want to hear a podcast on blogging, I would just type in blogging up here, hit enter, and iTunes goes and collects a whole bunch of information associated with blogging. Now, we're not there just yet because this is what iTunes comes back with. Obviously, iTunes is a store as well, the iTunes store. So what they're going to do is put a whole bunch of results up the top that are going to make them money. So these, by the way, are iPhone apps. So even though we were in the podcasting store, it'll bring back a whole bunch of other stuff. iPad apps, again, stuff that can make the money. But here we go with podcasts. So iTunes has gone away. It's searched for podcasts to do with blogging, and this is what it has come back with. So if we click on See All of these podcasts are blogging related. Pretty cool, huh? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to check out my blog, How to Make Podcasts Like a Pro, I make a career out of teaching people how to make podcasts about whatever they want, basically. I'm a radio DJ of over 15 years, so please go over to How to Make Podcasts Like a Pro. I look forward to chatting with you again soon, and thanks again for watching the video.